Hello everyone, welcome to the course on discrete mathematical structures. In the previous session, we have learned the different concepts like tautology, contradiction, and contingency, and we have constructed the truth table. Finally, we proved that whether the proposition is a tautology, contradiction, or contingency, and also we learned the concept of the logical equivalence. Once again, we proved that the two statements are logically equivalent, thereby constructing the truth table. We learned some of the laws of logic. These are the some of the laws of logic. The first law is the law of double negation. It states that negation of P is logically equivalent to P itself. Next, we have studied the De Morgan's law, the distributive law, the associative law, and we have proved all these laws, that is LHS is logically equivalent to RHS, thereby constructing the truth table. Then we studied the idempotent law, inverse law, absorption law, identity law, finally the commutative law. See, one of the problem with the truth table method is that as the number of proposition increases, the number of rows in the truth table also increases. It is somewhat difficult for us to prove that LHS is logically equivalent to RHS, thereby constructing the truth table. That's why we prefer to use the laws of logic. Let's take an example. Using laws of logic or without using truth table, prove that P or P and P or Q is logically equivalent to P. That means we need to prove that LHS is logically equivalent to RHS. In all these problems, we are going to use the different laws just now we have studied in the current session as well as in the earlier session. We are going to apply the different laws of logic. Finally, we are going to prove that LHS is logically equivalent to RHS. For all these problems, we are going to consider the LHS. Finally, we are going to arrive at that RHS. Finally, we prove that LHS is logically equivalent to RHS. See, the proof goes like this. Consider the LHS P R, P and P R Q. For this, we can apply one of the law, that is the absorption law. Whenever I mention the next step, you should give the reason why that step has appeared. We know that absorption law defines like this: P and P or Q is logically equivalent to P itself. That is, P and P or Q is logically equivalent to P. That means this entire compound proposition is simplified to P here. That is P or P. Instead of this entire compound proposition, I am going to replace this one by P, because P and P or Q is logically equivalent to P. And we know that P or P is logically equivalent to P as per the idempotent law. As per the idempotent law. Sorry, by mistake it has been printed as and, because it has to be R. There are two idempotent laws. One is P and P is logically equivalent to P. Another one is P or P is logically equivalent to P. Now, P or P is logically equivalent to P. That's why we can say that LHS is logically equivalent to RHS. See here, the idempotent laws, there are two laws. One is P or P is logically equivalent to P. Another one is P and P is logically equivalent to P. Here I applied the one more variation of the idempotent law. By mistake it is printed as P and P. Actually it has to be P or P. Consider an example. Using laws of logic or without using truth table, prove that negation of P and Q or negation of P or Q is logically equivalent to negation of P. Consider the LHS. Negation of P and Q or negation of P or Q. I'm going to apply the De Morgan's law for the second compound proposition. I'm going to introduce the not operator here. Whenever you introduce the not operator, your disjunction becomes the conjunction and the conjunction becomes the disjunction. That means negation of P or Q is logically equivalent to negation of P and the negation of Q because of the De Morgan's law. Next, we move on to the one more step. For these two compound propositions, that is negation of P and Q or negation of P and negation of Q, we are going to apply the distributive law. The distributive law states that P and Q or R is logically equivalent to P and Q or P and R. Here we can assume P as negation of P, Q as Q here, and R as negation of Q. If you apply the distributive law for this entire compound proportion, finally I'm going to get back the previous step here. Negation of P and Q or negation of P and negation of Q. Now, if you observe this proportion, compound proportion Q or negation of P, we can apply one more law here. That is the inverse law. Inverse law states that P or negation of P is logically equivalent to tautology. Instead of P, here we have Q. Replace P by Q here. Q or negation of Q is logically equivalent to tautology because of the inverse law. Now, if you observe here negation of P and tautology, I am going to finally get negation of P as for the identity law. Identity law states that P and tautology is logically equivalent to P itself. Here instead of P, you can assume P as negation of P. Negation of P and tautology is logically equivalent to negation of P itself. I consider the LHS, thereby applying the different laws of logic. I am able to arrive or I am able to derive the RHS. That's why I can say that the LHS is logically equivalent to the RHS. Consider the example. P implies Q and negation of Q and R or negation of Q is logically equivalent to negation of Q or P. Once again, consider the LHS. Then we are going to prove that LHS is logically equivalent to RHS. P implies Q and negation of Q and R or negation of Q. First, we are going to apply the commutative law. The commutative law states that P or Q is logically equivalent to Q or P. Here, R or negation of Q is logically equivalent to negation of Q or R as per the commutative law. Next step is, here in the next step, I have simultaneously applied two laws. This rule is very, very important. We know that P implies Q is logically equivalent to negation of P or Q. This way, instead of P implies Q, I have written here negation of P or Q. Simultaneously applied one more law, that is P and P or Q is logically equal to P itself. Here instead of P, here we are going to have negation of Q. Negation of Q is equivalent to P as per the absorption law. Absorption law states that P and P or Q is logically equivalent to P. That's why wherever P is there, replace it by negation of Q. Next step goes like this. Once again, apply the commutative law, that is exchange these two proportions, negation of Q and negation of P or Q. Next, we are going to apply once again the distributive law, that is negation of Q and negation of P or negation of Q and Q because of the distributive law. Then we know one more law, with the inverse law. Inverse law states that P and negation of P is logically equivalent to contradiction, or negation of Q and Q is logically equivalent to contradiction. I applied for this negation of Q and Q the inverse law. Finally, I'm going to get negation of Q and Q as, I'm replacing negation of Q and Q as the contradiction. Next step goes like this. We know that P or contradiction is logically equivalent to P. That's why here P is equivalent to your negation of Q and negation of P, or contradiction is logically equivalent to P. P is nothing but negation of Q and negation of P. Now once again take the negation as the common factor because of the De Morgan's law. De Morgan's law states that negation of Q or P is logically equivalent to negation of Q and negation of P. Finally, I am able to get the RHS. I consider the LHS, thereby apply the laws of logic. Then finally, I am able to derive the RHS. That's why I can say that LHS is logically equivalent to the RHS. See, you try this example as an exercise problem for more understanding the problems. Next, we consider the one more example, that is P or Q and P and Q is logically equivalent to P and Q. As I already told, always we need to consider the LHS. Finally, we are going to prove that LHS is logically equivalent to RHS. LHS says P or Q, and I consider the LHS, and simultaneously I applied the associative law. When the operators are same, for example, 2 plus 3 plus 5, 2 plus 3 plus 5 is equivalent to 2 plus 3 plus 5. Whether you place the parentheses in any one of the operands, the value remains the same. Similarly, 2 into 3 into 6 is equivalent to 2 into 3 into 6. Just to replace the parentheses, the value will not change. If the operators are same, we can apply the associative law. That's why I applied here. I just moved the parentheses instead of to P and Q, I move it to P and P now because of the associative law. Now, as per the identity law, idempotent law, there are two idempotent laws. One is P and P is logically equivalent to P. Another one is P or P is logically equivalent to P. By mistake, it is printed as P or P. Actually, it is P and P is logically equivalent to P itself. P or Q and P is logically equivalent to P and Q. Now I am going to apply the commutative law. That means I am going to exchange this expression within the parentheses. I am exchanging these two. All of you know that P and Q is logically equivalent to Q and P. I am going to exchange. I am exchanging P and Q to the LHS and P or Q to the RHS. I am exchanging before this AND operator. Now here the operators are same, P and Q. That's why I'm going to apply the associative law for this. That is, here I can introduce the parentheses to P and Q, or I can introduce it to Q and P. All are one and the same. Now that's why what I'm doing is the operators are same. We can apply the associative law here. P and Q, and just I'm replacing the parentheses Q and P or Q here because of the associative law. Now, once again, apply the commutative law, that is P or Q is logically equivalent to Q or P. P or Q is logically equivalent to Q or P as per the commutative law. Next, we are going to apply the absorption law. That is P and P or Q is logically equivalent to P itself. That is Q and Q or P is logically equivalent to Q. That is P and Q. I have considered LHS, and thereby using the different laws of logic, I am able to derive the RHS. That's why I can say that LHS is logically equivalent to what? RHS. You try this problem as an exercise problem by yourself for more clarity. These are some of the steps to prove that the LHS is logically equivalent to RHS. The LHS says P implies Q implies R. RHS is P and Q implies R. First, I consider the LHS, P implies Q implies R. Then finally, by applying the different laws of logic, I am able to prove that LHS is logically equivalent to the RHS. To try this, all this as an example or an exercise problem by yourself, so that you can get more practice to solve more and more problems. In all these problems, I have taken the LHS, and finally I am able, thereby applying the different laws of logic, I am able to prove that LHS is logically equivalent to RHS. These are some of the problems you can try by yourself, so that you'll get more idea about how to prove the different logical equivalences without constructing the truth table. As I already told in the previous session as well as in this session, the problem with the truth table method is that as the number of propositions increases, the number of rows in the truth table also increases. That's why by using the laws of logic, you can easily prove that the LHS is logically equivalent to the RHS. These are some of the problems you can take by yourself for practice purpose. Here, the last problem says using laws of logic, prove that negation of P or negation of P and Q and negation of P and negation of Q are logically equivalent. Consider the LHS, that is negation of P or negation of P and Q. The next, apply the De Morgan's law for this entire compound proportion, that is negation of P and negation of P and Q. Now, once again we apply the De Morgan's law here, that is for this expression, that is negation of P and Q, negation of P and negation of P, replace and by R, negation of Q, thereby using the De Morgan's law. The next, we know that as for the law of double negation, negation of P is logically equivalent to P itself. Then once again we apply the distributive law, that is negation of P and P or negation of P and negation of Q. We know that negation of P and P is equivalent to contradiction as for the inverse law. That's what I mentioned here. You need to mention each and every, you need to derive each step. For each step, you should mention the reason why that step has arrived. Then finally, we know that identity law, contradiction or any proposition is equivalent to what? The proposition itself. That is here, contradiction or U is equivalent to what? U itself. Here, instead of X, it has to be U. By mistake, it is printed as X here. That's why I can say that contradiction or negation of P and negation of Q is logically equivalent to negation of P and negation of Q as per the identity law. As for the identity law, where here U stands for negation of P and negation of Q. Finally, we prove that these two statements are logically equivalent. That means we consider the LHS and we prove that LHS is equal to RHS. Consider the last problem. Write the negation of the statement. If X is not a real number, then it is not a rational number and not an irrational number. First and foremost thing is we need to represent this in the symbolic form. For that, let us assume P as X is a real number, Q as X is a rational number, R as X is an irrational number. If you observe carefully, if you convert this sentential problem into symbolic form, it suggests like this: if X is not a real number, then it is not a rational number and not an irrational number. P is X is a real number, Q is X is a rational number, R is X is an irrational number. Negation of P is X is not a rational number. Negation of P is X is not a real number. Negation of Q is X is not a rational number. Negation of R is X is not an irrational number. The question goes like this: if X is not a real number, then X is not a rational number and X is not an irrational number. That means if negation of P means X is not a real number, then negation of Q means X is not a rational number and negation of R means X is not an irrational number. Next, we find out the negation. For finding the negation, introduce the negation operator. Negation of P implies negation of Q and negation of R. Directly, I can't apply the negation because we know this rule. This rule is very, very important because P implies Q is logically equal to negation of P or Q. That's why I'm going to apply negation of P implies negation of Q and negation of R as negation of P or negation of Q and R. Here, You can assume P as negation of P and Q as negation of Q and negation of R. Finally, apply the law of double negation and De Morgan's law. You are going to get negation of P is logically equivalent to P itself, and negation of Q and negation of R is logically equivalent to negation of Q and R. I applied simultaneously two laws, one is law of double negation and another one is the De Morgan's law. Once again, we apply the De Morgan's law. Once again, we apply the De Morgan's law. That is negation of Q or R here. Negation of P. Negation of P. Negation of P. Still, I have not introduced the negation operator. If you have introduced the negation operator, then it becomes negation of P. Replace R by and by R. Replace and by R and negation of Q and R. Negation of Q and R. Here I have taken negation as the common factor here. Here I have taken negation as the common factor. Now what happens? As per the law of double negation, then negation of Q or R is Q or R itself. Finally, if you convert this into a sentential form, X is not a real number and X is a rational number or X is an irrational number. In this way, we can solve this problem. That means if he has given the statement, first and foremost thing is convert it into symbolic form. Finally, find out the negation. Once again, write the problem in the sentential form. All these problems you can practice for more clarity. Thank you.